Hi everyone, and welcome to Tieto Every's first 50 minutes vlog ever. It will be a vlog running bi-weekly or weekly, addressing how we can benefit from digital advantages. And the idea is to open up the doors and sharing the four sides and the insights of our experts within Tieto Every in a quite nice and accessible package. First out is myself, Niclas Hansson. I'm working with business development within Tieto Every. And Jesper, who are you?
Yeah, who am I? My name is Jesper Viktor, and I'm heading up the digital commerce department with Tieto Every. So a lot of digital commerce and the stuff around retail. And as you said, this is actually our first video log, and it's a little bit excited. So we really hope you will enjoy it. We will, during 15 minutes here, try to guide you in how you can use digital advantage, maybe a little bit to keep your business in business, actually, in these unusual times. But we will start here with moving into the 5 areas or key messages that we want to introduce you to.
Exactly. So when we're through with these 50 minutes, we have discussed about the importance of learning, analyze, and keep focus on your business model so that you are sure it's tangible enough for the future to come. What is flexible and unflexible elements within your business model? How important it is to build up digital relationships now in 3 dimensions, and we will come back to what we mean with that. Keep focusing on digitalization and digital transformation in order to be more data-driven, and you can't do it by yourself. You need all your colleagues in your organization now to help you out, and that is by establishing a digital culture. But Jesper, you always start up talking about the digital transformation rocket. What do you mean with that?
Now, I think both me and you, Niclas, we've been around a lot during the last years, or maybe 10 years, if we're that old. And we've been talking about digital transformation and digitalization and how important it is. And what we're seeing now is actually that Corona has, in some way, actually given the digital transformation a rocket booster. So things are going really, really fast. And it's not only that it's happening, we're actually forced to change our behavior. So we are going at rocket speed in the digital transformation, and we're about, I think it is, some have said that we're taking maybe a 5-year leap in a couple of months. And that is why I'm talking about the rocket booster and digital transformation.
Let's put this in a context of COVID-19 then. And this is the time frame we experienced in Sweden, the first 90 days of the COVID-19. And I don't want you to read through the details here, but what I just wanted to visualize is how extremely fast things evolved throughout the first 90 days, and what metrics and measures and decisions and activities took place during those ones, both from a governmental point of view, from individual point of view, understanding the nature of COVID and social distancing, and companies taking dramatic decision influencing their ongoing business. So extremely fast development with extreme actions taking place. If we rewind and look into the history, we can learn from the history and the crisis from the history. Second World War, 9/11, SARS, and the financial crisis in 2008 heavily changed the behavior and our values and attitudes in the society. What we can learn from that is most likely COVID-19 will do the same. And if we fundamentally change our behaviors in society, it will influence our business and per se then our business models. But COVID-19, when you put that in context, it's completely different any other crises we have seen. For sure, it is a health crisis by nature. People are dying. And health care systems and governments are now trying to save lives now as we are speaking. They're doing that by launching out regulatory metrics for us to follow, such as social distancing. By having social distancing, both on individual level, but as a society and as country and market, we are now severely cutting off, interrupting, causing problem in the demand and supply chain. And by putting that in a context of that we are by society, global and local now, we will see a complexity we have never seen before in any other crises. Caused by this, we will see employment ratios being reduced, and in mid and long-term perspective, most likely our welfare is in some context at risk. So that is why COVID-19 is different than the other crises. What is happening now and the forces we can see related to COVID-19 is that the red solid curve here visualize the disease spread in the society. And I talked about the regulatory metrics that the governments now are launching out to reduce the peak of the red curve and trying to get closer to the blue line so that the healthcare systems can manage to take care of us in the society. So trying to push down the red curve into the blue by regulatory metrics like social distance instructions and so forth. But by doing that, you are causing a depression, the blue dotted line. And you're doing that by purpose. It happens by nature. And no one, of course, wants to have this kind of depression. So in the same time as pushing out regulatory policies, keeping down into close to the blue curve, the governments are launching out financial support packages to get from the dotted blue line into the green dotted line. When you're doing this in two directions, you are prolonging the crisis. So the time will expand. What this graph demonstrates is only the first way. Most likely, we as business people must be prepared to a second and a third wave, maybe, before the vaccine is distributed throughout the world. So this is the forces of the COVID-19 and what makes it more complex and unique versus other crises. Jesper, how can we relate this to our 5 key messages here today?
Yeah, as we said, we think that the corona situation and all that happens around it forced us to change, because as you said in your picture before, this will take some time, but that also means that we will change our behavior. So if we look into these 5 areas that we see really as essential to take actions in, I will use a really basic example about what's happening and see how that will affect. We have now a lot of 70-year-old people. They are not allowed by the regulations to go to the store actually, but of course they need to buy food and groceries like anyone else. if you have a store and you want to be able to serve those customers, you need a little bit to add the last mile that we've been talking about the last years. Actually, you need to be able to provide the groceries to the doorstep of these people. And by doing that, of course, you need to add something to your business model. You need to add a new partner. You need to add the offer that you could bundle your products together with a service of providing the groceries to your doorstep. You need to think about the business model in terms of payment and all the stuff like that. So just from that little change, then you start to change your business model, and that is why we talk about the tangible business model. In order actually to even be able to do that, you need to have a digital relationship. And prior to Corona, not many people over 70 actually were into these e-commerce buying groceries. But now this is forced upon them, and we see this behavior change really taking place. So people are buying, and if you have the digital platform, then it's perfect. But if you don't take those steps in digitalization and digital transformation before, then you are really in a hard spot, because now you need to catch up. You need to catch up fast, because otherwise those customers will go to your competitor that can offer that service and also that platform to these customers. But if you have the platform in place, you have the digital relationship, and you can offer this, then you start by default actually to be more data driven. You get more data of your customers, and you could give them suggestions on what to buy, ease how they buy, and ease the service. And you can also start moving into the kind of a business development process of this. And then you start about the digital culture. You start to see, how can we use this data? How can we interact with our customers in a better way? How can we actually maybe go to other target groups and see how we can do better business? And all this is based on a really simple example, and you see that this is included in all these areas. So how do you see upon this view, Niclas?
Yeah, but I like the storytelling you're doing there. And as you said, maybe you're taking a very simple general example of 70 years old, but it could very well be relevant to a forklift truck or aircraft tickets or whatever. So I think I should sum up. Tangible business model. Explore your business model. Find out which elements are flexible and which are not. Address the ones that are not flexible, so that you are able to be sustainable now in the future to come. No one knows where it will end to, but by having as much as possible flexible elements in the business model, you will be more persistent and more sustainable. Digital relations. We can see from Harvard Business Review now that the motivation curve dips if you sit long-term working from home due to social distancing. How do you build up digital relationships in three dimensions? With your customers and your market, how do you sell your offerings to your market throughout digital relations? How do you keep the motivation and engagement high internally in your business? And how do you build up digital relationships with your vendors and your suppliers in the future to come? Digital relations are important. Keep focusing on your ongoing digitalization and digital transformation initiatives. They will be crucial. They will make you more flexible. They will make you more data-driven. And by having that all together, both those two bubbles, make you more tangible in your business model. You can't do this alone. You need a whole organization to join you. Make sure that you build up a digital culture organization with agile teams that are multi-skilled set up, rather than having a hierarchy and silo-oriented organization now. Make sure they understand they have the mandate to explore, to experiment, to seek for new opportunities, because you will need that. as the behaviors will change in the society. So it's not a one man or one woman show, but that the whole organization are putting their eyes up and looking for opportunities. And to then finally wrap it up, I think that all these 5 bubbles are working together. So no problem to focus more on one circle, but make sure that you are a little bit in each and every one. And I think the future will be great for you and us that manage to do this in a good way. So to sum up here a little bit, this was the first vlog of Tieto Every. Very nice to be part of it. We would love now to hear your reaction and what you think about this by interacting in Tieto Every's social media feeds, or why not via the linked accounts of mine and Jesper. Are there anything you would like to address, Jesper?
No, I think you managed to keep up with us. It's been really interesting and exciting to be here. And I really hope you will engage with us moving on from this. So please contact us and see what we can do together. Thank you.
Good. Next week, we should say, Emmanuel Raymond will deep dive into data-driven. And that could be interesting to listen. And he will bring a client from Nels talking about data-driven sales activation. I will be there. I hope you will as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.